Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you my November book haul. I actually did really good in the month of November, especially considering like Black Friday of not buying too many books. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and just get right into this. I had a fantastic book shopping month. There were lots of deals, of course, out there that I did take advantage of. So let's just get started off with some of the ebooks I picked up this month. I did pick up 3 ebooks, all by Wendy Higgins. They are, I think it's like her Unknown trilogy. Don't quote me on the name of the series, but the first book is called Unknown, and the second book is called Undone, and I believe the third book is called Unrest. I might be mixing those up a little bit, but they are a part of a series. It's kind of like, you could call it kind of new adult or maybe upper YA. There are like some smexy scenes in there, but they're not like too like smutty. I picked these up because she did have them on sale for Black Friday, and I actually did read all of them, but they follow a brother and sister and their best friend. They're kind of like a post-apocalyptic books in the sense that the world has kind of been taken over by aliens or something weird like that, and humans are rising up, of course, to take back their world. I'm not gonna lie, things get pretty crazy in this series. It really takes off if you're into like post-apocalyptic things. There's lots of romance, stuff like that. I highly recommend picking it up. I flew through this entire trilogy, so I would definitely recommend picking them up. They were great. The next ebook that I picked up this month is called Bad Habit by Charlie Rose. I think I caught this one on sale too, and this one is kind of like the same sort of a theme where it's like the older brother's best friend and the sister, of course, you know, having feelings for him. And in this case though, the older brother's best friend, if that's not confusing at all, is kind of like a bad boy, and it's kind of, I think, supposed to have like some themes of like forbidden romance and things. I am so excited to read this book. I actually really like the cover. I really think the purple is just so pretty, and I'm excited to pick this up hopefully soon and get into it. I've had it recommended to me multiple times, so we'll see how it goes. I also picked up 3 more ebooks by another author, C.N. Crawford, and this is the, I call it like Court of Night series, but I think it has like an Institute name series. I'm not 100% positive on the title there of the series, but I actually did also read all 3 of these books. They were awesome. If you're looking for like a slightly new adult romance book that has fae in it and is set in modern times, I definitely recommend picking this up. It follows the story of a girl who is half fae, and she lives in a world where fae, where all sort of creatures other than like purebred fae are not allowed to like exist in modern society. They're supposed to remain in their own worlds. And she is, of course, living in London and in modern times where she's not supposed to be. And she comes across the Institute, and they are kind of like the keepers of the world, I would say. They're these fae warriors who are trusted with keeping, you know, bad out, the other creatures and things that are not supposed to be in this world out, and she ends up joining their forces, and it goes from there. It is so, they were such like good storylines. I really enjoyed reading them. There's like romance in them, there's tons of adventure, there's tons of like kick butt fighting and kick butt females. Like, it was awesome. I was really happy with that, and I cannot wait to pick up more books in the series. But yes, I highly recommend picking up this series if you have not already. I am so glad to have them and be able to read them. I also picked up a free ebook called Merry Inkmas by Talia Herbert. This book is, I think, a standalone? Unsure, not really. I just know that you can read it as a standalone, and it follows the story of a guy who is, I think he's like a tattoo shop owner or something like that. Kind of has like a bad boy persona or something like that, and he meets a sweet barista, and it's, I think, their love story. It's just a cute, like a, supposed to be like a cute fluffy Christmas read. So I'm really excited to read that because I feel like this is like the perfect time to be reading like those kinds of Christmassy books to kind of get you in the mood for Christmas. So I did pick this up, and I don't know if it's still free or not, but I did pick it up for free. But with that, I did pick up Her Husband's Harlot by Grace Calloway, and this one follows a couple that follows like one of my favorite tropes. It's actually about a couple that have already been married, and I really like that. I really like the marriage dynamics and stuff, and they have like everything was perfect, and on their wedding night something goes horribly wrong, and suddenly this couple decides that they need space from each other and things go like that. It is a historical romance and it is so good. Like, I want a physical copy of this book. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was so fun. There were so many twists and turns that I didn't see coming. There was so much in it. I definitely recommend picking it up, even if it's not like still free. Definitely consider looking into it if you like historical romance, you like, you know, stories where the couple is already married and they're like working through their own marital problems. Definitely recommend. Just getting into some of the physical books that I bought this month, I did pick up Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas. This is of course the UK edition, and it is so beautiful. I am so excited to have this on my shelf. I of course have already read and loved Empire of Storms, but I did not have the UK copy, and I came across it in a store and I was like, I have to get this because I've been wanting these copies for so long. They're so beautiful and I'm so excited to finally have this on my shelf. Next up, I did pick up a copy of Dry by Neal Shusterman and Jared Shusterman. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition with, I think it's got chapter by chapter notes from the authors, and it is of course signed. This was a part of the Black Friday deal that Barnes & Noble was doing where they were offering signed copies. So I had to pick this up because I've been hearing so much buzz about this book. I have no idea what it's about, and I've learned it's best to go into Neal's books not knowing anything about them. But I've heard I think it definitely probably has to do with like lack of water or something plays into it. I don't really know. I just know that like one of my friends was telling me that like this book made her thirsty. So I'm so excited to read this. I'm so glad I got a signed copy, and I'm excited for it. I also picked up Reckless Hearts by Heather Van Fleet. This is the first book in a series. I don't know if it has a title or not. Unsure, but this is the first book in a series. I actually had bought the second book like a year ago, and I went to read it and I realized that it was like the second book in a series, so I decided to put it off until I could get the first, and I finally remembered to pick it up at the store. So this one kind of follows, I think that they are all like kind of like military romance stories. I'm not 100% certain if they're like current in like active duty military service or if they are out of service. I'm not sure, but they sound like really good, just quick fluffy reads, and I was so down for it. So hopefully I can pick this up soon and get on to the second book. I also picked up this month Shades of Wicked by Jeannie Frost. This is the first book in her new Night Rebels series, which I believe is like another spin-off from like her Night Huntress books or something, or Night Prince. I'm not sure. I know that like they're all kind of like tied in together. I'm not 100% certain on how. I've actually never read a Jeannie Frost book. I keep meaning to, and people always recommend them to me, so I definitely want to, and I figured, well, while this was on the shelf so I don't have to worry about finding it later, I might as well go ahead and pick it up. What I hate though is they put the stickers on there. It always makes me so sad when they ruin the cover with the stickers because it ripped it when I pulled it off. Anyways, this one says The Rule Breaker, Master Vampire. Oh, so it's a vampire. Okay, I'm down for this. Master Vampire Ian is unrepentant, shameless, and every shade of wicked. He's made one too many enemies in his 2 centuries of existence, including Dagon, a demon who now lays claim to his soul. Ian's only chance to escape Dagon is to join forces with the Law Guardian, but he's never been able to abide by the rules for long. The Lawmaker. Veritas' normal role is police, judge, and jury to reprobates like Ian, but she has her own axe to grind with Dagon, so she can use Ian as bait while all's fair in law and war. I'm excited to read this. I think before I get to this though, I will read like her Night Huntress novels just to be more familiar with the world. I don't think that's like a necessity, but just me personally, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm so glad to have it on my shelf. Hopefully in the next year I can get to it pretty quick. Amazon did have a sale on some of their books this month where like you could get like a credit for buying like $20 in books or something like that. So I did take advantage of that because I am planning on going to a big signing next August, and I've been like kind of wanting to start gathering up books so that I don't have to buy tons of books all at once. So I took that advantage of that offer and I did pick up a couple of books. I picked up Leaf by Abby Glines. This is like a super teeny book. It's like I don't even know if you'd call it like a novella because it's very short. I read this years ago. It's a part of her, I think they're called Existence trilogy. This is like a novella in it, and I for some reason have all the other books in the trilogy, but like this one. So I picked this up so that I could get it signed by her at that big signing, and I'm so excited to have it. I really like the blue font. It's so pretty, and I think it's funny that it's so small. They like couldn't even put like the title of the book on the spine. I thought that was pretty cool. I also picked up Say You Want Me by Corinne Michaels. This is the second book in her Hennington series. I don't know what the name of the series is. Let's find out. Oh, this is the second book in her Return to Me series. I actually have book one. I have not finished it yet. I'm like almost finished with it though. And I wanted to pick this one up to be able to read it for an upcoming readathon. And I'm so excited to have it. This sounds kind of like a loose second chance romance. I'm not 100% certain on that. And I'm always down for that. I really like Corinne's writing. She's a great new adult author, and I'm excited to get into this. And I really like the cover. This font is so pretty. I'm into it. And of course, with that deal, I did also pick up a third book, and that was Hate Notes by V. Keelan and Penelope Ward. I have already read and devoured and absolutely adored this book. This is kind of like an enemies to lovers, not true enemies in the sense that like they really seriously hate each other. They just kind of have like this relationship where sometimes they can be like a little rude or mean to each other, but it is so good. It is kind of an office romance, so I highly, like if you're into like the hating game, you should definitely pick up Hate Notes. I think that this would be like right up your alley. It is so good. A wonderful, beautiful romance story that had so many turns in it that I did not see coming, that kind of just like gets you right in the feels. So glad to have this on my shelves. It's, oh, I love it. It was so good. Up this month, I did also find a copy of the Black Dagger Brotherhood: An Insider's Guide. This is from J.R. Ward's series. I assume she wrote this out. It doesn't have anybody else's name on it, so I think it's one that she put together. It has a novella in it that takes place after Fury's book. I have no idea what book number that is. I cannot keep up. But I know that I'm coming up to this, and it's like a recommended read for the series, so I wanted to make sure I picked up a copy, so I found one for cheap, and I was so excited to get it. It also has like a lot of just like insider information in it about the series, and since I've become such a huge fan of these books, I'm excited to have this on my shelf and get to it soon, hopefully. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. While browsing the store, I also picked up a copy of 1001 Dark Nights, Midnight Unleashed, a Midnight Breed novella by Laura Adrian. I have never read a Laura Adrian book, but I'd heard about her, and it is signed, which was super surprising and cool to see. This one I think is a Vampire Smexy novel. The Bookworm box also did have a Black Friday sale where it was like 50% off of all signed books, which was like amazing for those of us who like to buy signed books, which is something that I really like to do. So I did pick up 3 books from them, and I'm so happy to have them on my shelves. I did pick up Midnight Blue by L.J. Shen. L.J. Shen is one of my favorite romance authors. She writes kind of unforgiving, like kind of new adult romance. Sometimes I think she's like her latest series is going to be like upper YA, which is really exciting. This book in particular follows a musician and a girl who is hired to basically babysit him to keep him from doing all the bad things that, you know, famous rock stars can do. And it is so good. It was such a beautiful book. I'm so excited to have this on my shelf. It looks so pretty. It's got this special little insert, and I especially like in this the chapter headers. I think those are so cool. It looks like a crowd. I am so glad to have this on my shelf. Makes me very happy. So picked up All the Rage by T.M. Frazier. I really like T.M. Frazier's books. Her books tend to be really dark, kind of new adult romances, but like dark and sometimes with like aspects of violence, so just be aware of that if you're going to pick up one of her books, but I do recommend them. This one in particular I have never read, which is one of the reasons why I chose to pick it up. It says, "They call me Rage. My real name isn't important, not anymore. No one ever suspects that I am capable of the things I do on a daily basis. Brutal, violent things. I'm a girl, I'm 19, and I'm a killer. That's all I know. And tell him. He is my next target and my first love." So this sounds like it's probably going to be pretty intense. I actually really like the blue on the cover. I really like blue font. I don't know why, but I'm excited to read this. I really am excited to have it on my shelves. Like I said, her books can be pretty dark, but they are also like super addicting, so excited to hopefully get to this one soon. And probably one of my most exciting purchases this month is The Queen and the Cure by Amy Harmon. This is also a signed copy, which made me so stinking happy to see because I loved the first book in this series, which I don't know if it's a series or like companion series, but the first book was The Bird and the Sword, and I loved it so much. So I'm excited to read this one. I don't know who this one follows. They're fantasy romance novels, but with like beautiful love stories in them and like so much going on in the world. So excited to have this. I know I'm going to love it. I don't even have to know what it's about. I know I'm going to love it. It is so good, and I'm so happy to have this, and to have a signed copy is super exciting. So there you have it. Here is my decent sized, for once, November book haul. I am so excited for all these books that I got this month, and I'm so happy with all the deals that I got from Black Friday. I would love to hear whatever books you guys managed to pick up this month, especially with all the deals that were going on, and I will see you soon. Bye!